I thought I'd show a little bit here about how we're optimizing anatomical models for use in the HoloLens. Here we have I have a wireframe view of one of our female models. I have various parts of the physiology split up and pulled apart, and I'm working on the lymphatic system here, where I'm going to try to reduce the polygonal count in such a way that is optimized just a lot more effectively for HoloLens utilization. The HoloLens is a kind of a quad-core primary CPU, and then it has additional graphics CPUs and additional CPUs utilized for the inside-out tracking of the mixed reality experience. But it is limited. I mean, the computer is fully self-contained on your head, within the visor itself. So you have to be conscious of that. So again, I'm going to start watching as I optimize the vertices and the faces, the polygonal count. I'm going to be watching in these viewports that have a solid render to, just to try to better gauge what kind of fidelity I'm losing. This of course becomes more complicated as each of these systems are integrated and utilized within, the rest of the model. So you have to watch out that the deformation, of the polygonal model doesn't get distorted in such a way that it won't mesh, with all the other systems well. So, this is a tricky process, and these are the early stages of it. So the overall model itself is about 750,000 polygons for the entire human anatomy system right now, which isn't very bad really when you consider the amount of detail. But again, it needs to be better to be utilized effectively in all the ways we want to. We want to rig this model. We want this model to be in full motion, and we want to be able to change the epidermis, the skin, and the appearance of the age of the character. So there's a lot we still want to do without having to worry about bogging down the HoloLens itself with unnecessary polygons. So here we go. First, I'm going to go up here and grab the modifier that I need to get this done. I have to select the system first. Okay, so I've got the system selected, the lymphatic system selected. Now I'm going to go here to my modifiers, go down to Pro Optimizer. At this point, I have to tell it to calculate, do an initial calculation on what kind of complexity it's dealing with. So it's crunching the numbers here on just the lymphatic system since I have it selected. It says we're dealing with about 353,000, and that's again of about 750,000 in total for the whole series of anatomy. So I purposely picked the lymphatic system, knowing that it's one of the more complex, to deal with initially. And so now I just basically, in utilizing this Pro Optimizer built into 3D Studio Max, I go ahead and start just manually dialing down, and you can see it calculating. I can start to see some of the vertexes disappearing. See them there, the faces, but it's maintaining a really exceptional shape. If you look over at the windows with the solid conveyance of the model, we're not seeing any changes really that are real significant in the shape, or the volume of the model. So we can keep dialing this down. I'm already optimized it to a 50% point at this point, so I've gotten below 200,000. Again, from an original complexity of 350,000 faces, I'm now down to less than 200,000. I'm now down to, I've got to start watching very carefully to see how things might be changing. I'm going to dial back a little bit to study this. Okay, I'm starting to see movement in the shapes of the system, so that's concerning me as far as how well the lymphatic system will integrate with the others once it's all unified, within the single human model. So I think we've pushed our luck by going beyond 60% optimization. So I'm going to dial it back. It's really actually to about 56% optimization, about 190,000 polygons, again reduced from 350. So that's already substantially reduced to about a little less than 2/3 of the most complex system in this anatomically correct model. So that's hopeful. Again, it may be that we have to come back and get a lot more aggressive. And I could certainly, my system is powerful enough where I could optimize all of these systems simultaneously, but I just thought it was smarter to just kind of start one at a time and see where we get. Alrighty, let's stop the video there. I think you get the idea.